Today is July 10th, and I call this meeting of the Folsom Cordova Unified School District to order. Thank you, Madam Veep. Superintendent, if you can call roll, please.
Sir, Mr. Charlem Churla.
Here.
Ms. Larrett.
Here.
Ms. Lofthouse.
Here.
Mr. Reed.
Here.
Mr. Clark.
Here.
All are present.
Thank you. We will start off with our land acknowledgement.
As the Folsom Cordova Unified School District, we acknowledge that our administrative facilities and schools occupy the unceded territory of the Nisenan and Miwok, the original people of the skies, land, and waters where we work and learn.
We also recognize the presence and ancestral stewardship of the Nishinan ancestral tribes, the Esto, the Natamuse, the Nisim, the Pawanan to the north, and the Miwok ancestral tribes, and the Amakumne, Consumne, Hopumne, and Makolmne to the south along the Great Sacramento River system since time immemorial.
We understand that this land upon which our institutions are built was once flourishing with natural resources and sustained by the ancestral knowledge and practices of those indigenous communities.
We acknowledge the injustices of colonialism and attempted genocide that have impacted these communities and recognize the resilience of their descendants who continue to thrive today. In our daily endeavors of teaching, learning, leadership, and community engagement, we commit to supporting, respecting, and honoring their culture, traditions, and lifeways.
We pledge to work together for the evolving vision of the Miwok and Nishinan, especially for all future generations.
All right, thank you, Board. You can follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I am going to omit the broadcast statement. However, I am going to entertain public comment before we do adjourn into closed session. Public comments during board meetings are...
I don't know if you're not going to do the broadcast statement, Mr. President. We do have to adopt the agenda and then go to agenda consent.
Well, I have to do the broadcast statement first.
Yeah, you're right.
Thank you. So I'll carry on. Public comments during board meetings are an important component of public engagement and transparency. Members of the public will not be permitted to yield their speaking time to another member of the public. All written comments submitted by 3 p.m. today to the board have been read. Per the Brown Act, the board is not allowed to enter into a two-way discussion on any matter not on the agenda. I will now entertain a motion for the adoption of the agenda.
I'll second.
Moved by Board Member Lofthouse, second by Board Member Charlem Churla. Superintendent?
Mr. Charlem Churla.
Aye.
Ms. Larrett.
Aye.
Ms. Lofthouse.
Aye.
Mr. Reed.
Aye.
Mr. Clark.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. And we will even go on to agenda consent.
I'll move.
Moved by Board Member Larrett.
Second.
Second by Board Member Charlem Churla. Superintendent?
Yes, Mr. Charlem Churla.
Aye.
Ms. Larrett.
Aye.
Ms. Lofthouse.
Aye.
Mr. Reed.
Aye.
Mr. Clark.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
All right. We will now go into public comment. I feel that this issue is important enough to entertain public comments from the community. However, looking at the public comments, I will allow 2 minutes, just like last time. So I will read the comment. Time will be given to the speakers at the discretion of the board chairperson. The law allows the public to address the board on any matter, however, in this case, on the agenda. The law prohibits action by the board on non-agenda items. So with that being said, I will go ahead and now welcome public comment. We'll start off with Mr. Jason Burke.
All right, hello. Good afternoon, Board of Trustees, Superintendent. My name is Jason Burke, and I've been a resident of Rancho Cordova since 2004. I'm also a special educator at a neighboring district for the past 20 years. Speaking to you today on the Conrad Meyer situation. According to the administrative law judge, Sean Gavin, he stated, the district determination that the respondent's conduct warrants termination is supported by the preponderance of the evidence. As an educator, it's our job to protect students and the safety of every student, no matter what. From protecting them from bullying to protecting them from school shooters. I have seen videos of the previous board meeting talking about how great Mr. Meyer is, and he's a pillar of the community. But we've seen this argument time and time again. Just because you help people doesn't mean you can't be a bad person. I urge this board not to reinstate Mr. Meyer so that the innocent young women can start to heal and return to this neighborhood school. Thank you.
Thank you. I will. Next speaker is Joe Little.
Good evening. This ordeal has taught us one great lesson. All animals are equal in Rancho Cordova, but some animals are more equal than others. In this city, some things matter more than universal human values. Power, politics, transactional relationships, saving face, each matter more here than truth and justice. To some powerful people hearing this message behind me, and those who will watch at home, you've become the very thing you started your journey to be against. You've shown your ignorance, your conceitedness, your corruption, and your lack of judgment. I hope it was worth it. As Maximus Decimus Meridius reminded us in the 2000 film Gladiator, a person must live by two principles, strength and honor. Strength shows itself in many forms. It cannot be found in bullying victims, teachers, and their supporters into silence. Strength is found in the actions of young heroic women experiencing injustice who, in a leap of faith, against odds, entrust the system to do its job, to bring them justice and to hold the powerful man to account. Their families and friends who supported them through ostracism and antagonization, they showed great strength as well. They all deserve closure and justice. We're here today because entire families have shown great strength in the face of great adversity. I don't know any of them personally, but they've inspired me. We're also here today because many members of this community have displayed their honor. Honor does not consist of decorum or manners, which the honorless display while they scheme to unjust ends, and while they ignore injustice occurring before them. Honor consists of actually standing up. I'll finish really quick. Honor consists of actually standing up for the things we all tell ourselves and our children that we believe, that when push comes to shove, you will fight for someone you don't know. Because that's the right thing to do. The community has shown up to support these young women.
10 seconds.
The community has shown up to support these young women that they don't know because it was the right thing to do. To the board, please make the right call tonight to uphold our community's values. It's what you are elected to do.
Thank you, sir.
One more sentence. Show your strength and honor for victims who entrust you to do what is right.
All right, thank you. Just a reminder that there are 2 minutes. I will give a 10-second grace after that, cutting you off. All right, Vanessa Kudabak, if I got that right.
Good evening, Superintendent, members of the school board. My name is Vanessa Kudabak. I'm a member of the California Teachers Association, state delegate to the National Educators Association, and community advocate. I have supported students, families, and teachers all over Sacramento County, and in all my years in the field of education, I never thought I would have to come to a school board to explain why sexual harassment of children is wrong. What you are about to decide tonight should not even be a debate. Those of us in the field of education must understand that there is a sacred trust that the public places into us. And the most important part of that trust is that we must act with integrity and we must ensure the safety of students. What is happening in this meeting today should not just concern those in Rancho Cordova or Folsom School District, but should concern everyone in the region. As if you decide tonight to overturn the ruling of an administrative judge who found that Conrad Mayer poses an unreasonable risk of harm to students, a judge who found that the allegations of sexual harassment of 5 teenage girls credible. This sets a dangerous precedent. It sends the message to students and families everywhere that they will not be listened to, that their voices do not matter, and that as long as you have friends in the right places and have a plaque calling you Rancho Cordova Man of the Year, you can engage in sexual misconduct towards children. I'm going to read one of the many comments I received from teachers from this district who were afraid to speak in fear of retaliation, which says a lot about what has been manifesting in this district. She says, by dismissing these reports and not immediately firing Conrad Mayer, the district is sending a dangerous message that student safety is not a priority and those who speak up will not be believed. Please do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Tammy Shaw.
Good evening. I'm a parent of 2 graduates of FCUSD, retired CHS employee and community member. As you know, there has been a lot of attention regarding this important matter. I imagine it wasn't easy for these young women to speak up. In my 10 years of knowing and working with Conrad, he's always had the best intentions. Knowing and working closely with Conrad, his intent has always been to protect young people of Rancho Cordova, and he has strived to make their lives better. I have seen many students interact with Conrad, and he has always left them feeling welcomed, safe, and respected. I also believe that one could equate this process to a jury trial with the FCUSD board acting as the jury. Under our justice system, if a jury has any reasonable doubt about the defendant's guilt, they are legally obligated to find the defendant not guilty because the prosecution has the burden of providing guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. If the prosecution fails to meet this standard, an acquittal is typically the result. Based on the vast amount of testimony from respected community members, there are colleagues and students which exonerated Conrad, there appears to be some basis for forming the consideration of reasonable doubt, which in our justice system would typically lead to an acquittal or non-guilty verdict. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Shaw.
I still had 19 seconds. I will say that my interactions with Conrad, he has always been a gentleman and he has always made me feel safe. And he was so kind to the students.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Conrad Mayer.
Good evening. I'm just going to make this short. This seems to be a growing ordeal. We have to find a better way to protect our givers, our volunteers, our people that have spent a lifelong time of giving back. How do we protect them? I have only learned what I was taught by my mentors, and my mentors were coaches, teachers, community members, and so on and so forth. And all I know are the things that I was taught, and that was to give. Anytime I had something, I gave it. If it wasn't myself, if it was looking for a friend that had something that was needed, that's what I did. It's moments like this, just being around town, that I have uncovered others that are like me, that have given and their intentions have been misinterpreted. I had a situation where I had my coach. My parents, one was blind, as I said before, and my dad was working in the military. He offered me and some friends a trip to go see colleges. I had no idea why he did that. He just did, and I appreciate that so much. But we are running more in people doing stuff like that and being negatively ridiculed. And all I'm going to say this evening is thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight, to serve this community, to serve our community, and I will continue to do so in some way, shape, or form. But those that aren't, or that are thinking about volunteering, you have to find a way to protect them so that they don't have to go through this same ordeal.
Joshua Cameron.
Hello, excellent. My name is Joshua Cameron. I'm the Policy and Legislation Chair for the Democratic Party of Sacramento County. I'm here to give a brief statement on behalf of the chair of the DPSC. The Democratic Party of Sacramento County unequivocally supports the right of all individuals, especially our children and youth, to live, study, and learn in a safe and professional environment, free from all forms of discrimination, harassment, bullying, and abuse, including sexual harassment and sexual violence. Our schools are the foundation of our democracy and must be environments where all students can thrive and focus on their studies without fear. In alignment with the Democratic Party's longstanding platform and resolutions, the Democratic Party of Sacramento County stands in unwavering solidarity with victims and survivors of sexual harassment. We demand that all credible allegations of sexual harassment against students be taken seriously and met with immediate decisive action by local school boards. Sacramento County Democrats believe that sexual harassment and assault cannot be tolerated. We must collectively ensure that our schools are truly sanctuary spaces where every child feels secure, respected, and empowered to reach their full potential. Thank you.
Thank you. Josh Mize.
Good evening. My name is Josh Mize. I'm a father of three. My daughter came to me and she explained that she's been, sexually harassed and told about her body, and her friends have too. And, I'm here today at the second time, and I can't believe this is even an issue. I can't believe sexual harassment has been allowed to go this far. I can't believe that. I've got two little girls sitting out there, and my oldest one has been up here and has actually fought for them. She says, I may be out of the district now, but these two girls are upcoming. They're my sisters. I love them very much. And I just want you guys to do the right decision, and send a message out to this community to keep our kids safe, to keep our little girls safe. I worry about, as a dad, I worry about my little girls all the time. All the time. It's hurtful, to have to do that, have to deal with the mannerisms, have to deal with, talk about sexual advances. And I just want the board to do the right thing. And that's all I'm going to say. Oh.
Thank you. All right, Shelley Blanchard.
Mr. Chairman and trustees. I'm going to be really brief. I have already spoken and taken your valuable time. I have a lot of sympathy for those who have come up and said that they worry about their children and their, being victims of sexual harassment. I'm a mother of 2 girls. I'm a grandmother of 3 girls. So of course, I share that fear. I think we do as a people. All I wanted to say tonight is that just because there's been a lot of conversation in the community in various ways, I think I and probably a lot of the people seated here tonight have not changed our mind on how this has transpired. And we ask that we hope that in the intervening weeks that you've had a chance to learn more about how the investigation was conducted and those sorts of details, and ask that you restore Conrad Mayer to his position.
All right, Garrett Gatewood.
Thank you. Well, I'll make it quick too. I haven't changed my opinion. This man's a great African-American leader in our community, has guided many people. And I know that we do have a little problem in the community, but we're trying to deal with that as a whole. And we need someone like him to stay there to help our most disadvantaged youths get through high school. This is a program that basically has rescued many a child that should have dropped out and flunked out. And so I stand with Conrad as he goes through this. And I know that you as a board have a hard decision to make, but I know you'll make the right one because I know you know what's best for the community. And you've seen hundreds of people that have supported him, and he's been here for over 40 years doing what's right. And to think that he would have done something like that is unincorrigible. And we really don't want to go into the investigation and see what the district did wrong. I don't need my district getting beat up anymore. I need this thing taken care of, and I need you guys to make the right decision. And I know you know what that is, and that's to help Conrad. Thank you.
David Sander.
Good evening, Board. I'm here tonight to speak out against a real wrong, one that has harmed not only a respected member of our community, but also our students and the very fabric of Rancho Cordova. I recognize there are people on the other side of this issue. Many of them are well-meaning, and many from outside of this district, and therefore lacking knowledge or context of this situation. No one wants kids at risk, but the problem here is that the wrong was committed by the system that was designed with rules to protect those kids, and instead it was used to silence and punish. The target tonight is Conrad Mayer, but it isn't new. In Rancho Cordova, we've seen this happen time after time. Principals, teachers, coaches, administrators, anyone who stands up for kids is at risk by the system of being accused of an HR violation. And now, because Conrad was one of those people who stood up for kids, he's being accused. He's the target, and I've seen it firsthand. I've seen the district bend rules to remove people they considered a problem. I was directly pressured by district staff to get Conrad to stand down on some of his expectations. More than once, as were many other colleagues of mine. I heard staff complain about those standards, and I was asked to intervene, and very soon I saw them turn their attacks directly on him from whatever means they could accomplish. A biased process was led by unqualified investigators with leading questions. Statements were recorded by staff, not made by students. Hard evidence and a show trial led by a judge who only served at the discretion of the district then ensued. The district was, in essence, the accuser, the investigator, the prosecutor, the judge, and now the jury. That is not a fair process. This is a process where I and others were prohibited from telling the truth. You are elected officials. You and I have hard decisions to make every time we sit behind these dais. I ask you, stand up for fairness, stand up for the process, defend the integrity of this district, which is on the line, and stand up for Conrad Mayer. Set this wrong right.
All right, Linda Budge.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, good evening. Thank you very much. Courtesy of your superintendent, you've all received my letter, which expresses my experience with Conrad over several decades. This is the little book that I talked about that he encouraged me to write, talking about graduates of Cordova High. In my family, we have 7 graduates. Most of them have gone all the way from other preschools all the way through Cordova High. And nobody has ever suggested that there was any problem with any of their teachers or any of the staff that they encountered along the way. As everybody has said, I've known Conrad for decades. Like I said in the letter, I don't even remember when or where, how I met him, simply because I've known them so long. So I encourage you to do the right thing tonight and find a resolution that does not dishonor and jettison this wonderful, well-meaning, productive member of our community. Thank you.
Angelina Hirogos.
My name is Angelina Hinojosa. As a young Native woman, Kaylee represents so many of us who are often overlooked, silenced, or denied justice. It's not every day that people believe a Native girl when she speaks her truth, let alone fight for her to receive the justice she deserves, the safety she deserves. But today, we choose to believe her, and so does an entire community standing behind her. We choose to uplift her. Supporting Kaylee is about more than just one person. It's about making a statement that women matter, our voices matter, and our safety matters for all students. Let's be the change. Remove men that prey on women in spaces that are supposed to be safe. Think if that was your daughter, or your niece, or your sister. Let your decision be the right one. Don't let people's interactions with the man sway you to make a decision against women who have came out about sexual harassment. Do the right thing. Shut it down and protect these students. Jobs can be replaced easily. Justice for Kaylee is justice for all of us. And I guarantee you, the community behind us is bigger than sexual harassment itself, or anyone or anything that supports it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Hila, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce your last name. Is Hila there? Here?
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Hela El-Khatib, and I am an alumna of FCUSD. And I'm here to speak in support of the victims. These courageous girls spoke up about inappropriate, traumatic behavior from Mr. Mayor that they should have never been subject to. Your personal experiences with Mr. Mayor does not negate their testimonies. If you vote to reinstate Mr. Mayor despite the OAH decision and the numerous testimonies from victims that have come out, you would be setting a horrific precedent on campus, one that will not ensure the safety of students. The OAH decision very clearly lays out the fact that the district did prove by a preponderance of evidence that cause does exist to terminate Mr. Mayor. I urge you to do the right thing. I urge you to respect the decision and respect the victims today with your vote. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, we do have one under this subject that did not list a name.
I'll allow it.
Do you recognize your writing? You? Is that your writing? Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Good evening, President Clark, Superintendent Swanson, and members of the board. My name is Jose Navarro, and I am the Communications Director for the Latino Sacramento County, Latino Democratic Club of Sacramento County, sorry. And I am also the trustee for Sacramento City Unified School District Area 3, which encompasses Lincoln Village area. So 3 of the Rancho Cordova schools are in my district. So a friend posted a question online that stopped me in my tracks. The question he posted is, if a school employee said this on campus to or about students, would you want that person fired? Sorry about what I'm about to say, but this is what was said before. They look like they want to get fucked. Recognize that ass from a mile away. Put those pretty little legs to work and cute little ass. The answer, without hesitation, should be a resounding yes. In fact, it should be a resounding yes even if it's adults. And it should be a resounding yes regardless of who said those remarks. Those are disgusting remarks to be said in an employment setting, not to mention a setting where you educate minor children. I am shocked that I even need to be here, asking our board members to protect students by doing the right thing. 5 courageous students spoke up, and we owe them. And every other student who will walk those halls in the future. We owe them safety, dignity, and justice. This case was reviewed not only by I'll just finish really quick. Now it's time to finish the job. The board must act on the expertise of its own HR team and the findings of the administrative law judge. The right course of action is clear. Terminate Mr. Beyer. Thank you for your time. I stand with students. I hope you do too. Thank you.
Thank you. Sequoia Coleman.
Estongo, Sequoia Coleman George of Cados. I'm a member of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma and Muskogee, and I'm a Northern California community organizer with the California Native Vote Project. Today, I'm here speaking up in support for Kaylee Mize, a young Native girl who showed more courage than most adults ever will. It takes an incredible amount of bravery for a Native student, especially a young woman, to come forward about being sexually harassed at her own school by someone she was supposed to trust. She did that. And instead of being met with swift action and protection, she's been met with silence, delay, and harm. This district has had 2 months to decide if somebody is found guilty of misconduct and labeled by your own HR as an unreasonable risk of harm should be working with students. 2 months. Somehow he's still here. That delay, that waiting game, that incredibly damaging to students. It's been incredibly damaging to students who have come forward. It's re-traumatizing and it tells them that their pain is negotiable. I've seen people try to twist this into something that it's not, claiming this is racial discrimination. Well, if we really want to talk about race, let's talk about how one of the victims was a Native girl. Native students already face some of the highest barriers in public education. This is what it looks like when those barriers are ignored again. And I say this as a young Black and Native woman myself. I know firsthand what it means to navigate systems that are meant to protect us, and how easy it is for our voices to be dismissed when we do speak up. This should have never gotten political. At the end of the day, young girls are sexually harassed at school. That should be all the information you need. So I'm asking you, what kind of district do you want to be? Because right now, your silence and delay is speaking louder than any of us. Mado.
Right, Camille.
Hey, young Mamalio, Kamiko Hostler, Huyet, not kiss, I'll talk, Yimis. Hello, my name is Kamiko Hostler, and I come from the village of Talcamilden on the Hoopa Valley Reservation. I'm here in full support of Kaylee Mize, a proud Native student who has shown strength far beyond what any student should have to show. I haven't heard it said outright, but let's not ignore what's happening. Every supporter of Conrad Mayer seems to be walking a careful line, insinuating that these young women aren't telling the truth, that they're misunderstood, that they're exaggerating. But no matter how it's phrased, the message is still the same. We don't believe you. And that message is doing real harm. As a Native woman myself, I know what it's like to have our pain dismissed. Native women and girls are murdered at 10 times the national average. We are not believed. We are not protected. And now this district is echoing that same harm in real time to one of your own. If Folsom Cordova Unified School District begins meetings with land acknowledgements and claims to support Native students, culture, and community, then those words must mean something. Otherwise, they're just empty promises. You cannot claim to honor Native people and then abandon Native students when it matters most. This board cannot fulfill its most basic duty to protect students, then you have lost sight of the very communities you were elected to serve. We are not asking for a statement. We are asking for action, removal, believing in survivors, showing students, including Kaylee, that their safety and truth matter. I speak today not just as an advocate, but as a witness for Kaylee, for Native youth, and for every student in this district who's watched this board hesitate while they hurt. I hope you remember that when you make your decision behind closed doors, because if you can't be brave enough to protect your students, then you do not belong in leadership. Sitdaya, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. There is one on Zoom. All right. Jacob Rowe.
OCO, Jacob Rowe, Dawato, Chijalaki. Hello, thank you for your time today. My name is Jacob Rowe. I'm an enrolled member of the Georgia Tribe of Eastern Cherokee, a rising junior at Stanford University, and the tribal liaison for the Student Senate for California Community Colleges. I'll keep my comments brief. This is disturbing to watch. This is absolutely disturbing and saddening that young Native women in our communities are not being listened to when they're coming forward and being vulnerable about issues that have affected our communities for years and years. This is disturbing. Hearing the reports of friendships and good intentions for 20 to 30 years does not negate sexual harassment or anything in that manner. Women from our community are speaking. Our community is speaking. I hope that the district will listen. Hope with the
All right. Thank you. All right, any other hands raised on Zoom? Just want to make sure we get everybody and actually out to the audience. I want to make sure that I get everybody. All right, hearing none, we'll go ahead to two more comments. Yeah, I know, I'm getting ready to hit those right now. I'm gonna go with Faith Smith. And just for the record, she is a student, and I am going to allow her allotted time of 4 minutes.
I just made all of that up on the spot. And I'm not allowed to be in the jazz big band? I can make my own part. I can play any other instrument's part as well, and you won't let me be a part of it. I haven't heard anything. Am I going to be a part of it when school starts? School starts August 7th. That's coming up. By the way, my dad doesn't play guitar. He came up here to play guitar for me so I could play. And you know what? This past I'm going to be a senior. This started before I even started to be a freshman, my 8th grade year. And throughout my whole situation, as I've told you, I have not felt safe. I was failed by the principal. I was failed by the teachers. I was failed by the superintendent at the time. Not now. I can see you're helping. But I was failed by a lot of people. And if you decide to have this teacher come back, Conrad, you're going to fail those students too. And that's not okay. You need to prioritize safety. I see old people in the audience coming up here. That's not who you should be caring about. I'm sorry to say you're old, but you are. And you should be caring about the students, the people that are coming up here fighting for the students that are being affected. Those are the ones that you should be caring about. I had to tell you this already. Care for the students, not for the adults. It's not for them. They don't have to go to school every single day. Also, you never know who is going to sexually assault somebody. It could be your next door neighbor. You would never know. They're not going to tell you because they know it's wrong, but they're still going to do it. So just because you've known them for that long does not mean that they can't do something like that or that they're past that. Thank you.
Earl?
Board, I'm upset. I'm tired. In a year, Faith and I, we stand here with the other natives. I'm not going to be silent. I'm going to go poking around. I'm been poking around, and I listen to some of the evidence. This is very clear. You guys make this decision. So I called my friend. I asked him about this situation. Do the board actually make these decisions? He said, yes. So I was saying, you mean to tell me when we get a ruling from the CDE that Williams' actions was done out of retaliation and you have a principal standing behind her, that falls on the board? He said, yes. I brought up about Don Ogden. I filed and asked the CDE to have him terminated. They came back and said, it is not their decision. It's the local decision. I'm going to send this to you guys because this falls on your guys' shoulders. And to sit here and have, was this the third board meeting dealing with this situation and re-victimizing these kids? I've been very clear every board meeting coming up here speaking. I stand with the kids. Those WhatsApp message apps, those kids knew that that was coming to my phone. I believe, I'll send this. If you don't remember, I will send this. But I have direct messages from students and I have all of their phone numbers. My friend said, get their numbers. He will subpoena them to testify. Well, eventually they're going to be 18. So when the principal brings in an SRO to scare students to testify in favor of the teacher, when they're 18, I'm going to put them on the stand because I am filing federal. And I'm going to stand with my natives. And if you reinstate this guy after me hearing that evidence, I'm going to stand with my brothers and I'm going to bring them in on our case. I'm tired of this.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. And looks like we do have another one on Zoom. All right. Kaylee Smith.
Give me just 1 second, please. Good evening, members of the board. My name is Kaylee Mize. I am Ho-Chunk Menominee Osage and Quapaw. I need you all to truly listen to what I'm about to say, not just as board members or administrators, but as people responsible for the environment we students walk into every single day. What Conrad Mayer did to me was not only just inappropriate, but it was harmful. His actions didn't only just break the rules, they broke trust, they broke my sense of safety, and they had a real painful effect on my mental health. There were days where I woke up and dread coming to school, and not just because of schoolwork or tests, but because I didn't feel safe mentally or emotionally. I was anxious, I was afraid, and I felt like my voice didn't matter. That's not what a school is supposed to feel like. You guys say this is a place for growth and learning, and how are we supposed to learn when we are carrying fear? How are we supposed to grow when the people who hurt us stay in power? I'm sitting here because I refuse to stay silent, and because every student who's felt like I have deserves to be heard. I fully support, and not only just support, I demand the intermediate termination of Conrad Mayer, not just as a disciplinary action, but as a message that this kind of behavior will not be tolerated by the Folsom Cordova Unified School District ever again, because we as students deserve better. We deserve to feel safe, and we deserve to know that the people in charge will protect us when it matters most, because this isn't just about one person's actions, it's about how we as a school district respond to them. And again, I'm demanding that we respond with seriousness, urgency, care that students like me deserve. Thank you.
Thank you. And for the record, it was not Kaylee Smith, it was Kaylee Mize. All right. Are there any other comments? All right, hearing none. None on Zoom. All right. With that being said, we are going to adjourn in a closed session where the board will deliberate. There are some other issues that we do have to tackle with legal counsel and employee discussion. So with that being said, I'm not sure how long it will take, but we will be back there for however long it takes. Tonight is a very important decision that we need to make. So I thank the speakers for coming out. Appreciate all y'all, and we'll be back in a few. We will now adjourn the closed session. All right, we will adjourn back in from closed session. I do reopen this meeting to open session. Superintendent, can you please report out?
Yes, sir. For item C, Public Employee Discipline Dismissal Release Government Code 54954.5, 54957. In closed session, the board voted by a vote of 3 yeas, 1 no, and 1 recusal to uphold the proposed decision of the administrative law judge approving the dismissal of district classified campus monitor. For item D, Public Employee Discussion and Action to Dismissal Confidential Employee ID number 614191 pursuant to subsection B of Government Code 54957. The board approved by a vote of 5 yeas and 0 nays. For item E, Public Employee Discussion and Action to dismiss confidential employee 611894 pursuant to subsection B of Government Code 54957. The board approved by a vote of 5 yeas, 0 nays to dismiss confidential employee 611894. I do have to go back. I apologize. I read this out of order. I'm getting back to item C because it wasn't unanimous. I report how the votes went. So voting in favor of upholding the proposed decision were Trustee Charlam-Shurla, Trustee Clark, Trustee Lofthouse. Voting against upholding the proposed decision was Trustee Larrett, and Trustee Reed recused himself.
All right, thank you, Superintendent. With that, we'll continue on to agenda consent. I will entertain a motion.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Moved by Board Member Lofthouse, second by Board Member Charlam-Shurla. Superintendent, if you can call roll, please.
Mr. Charlam-Shurla?
Aye.
Ms. Larrett?
Aye.
Ms. Lofthouse?
Aye.
Mr. Reed?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
All right, thank you, sir. Advanced planning.
Yeah, next board meeting, the first board meeting for after the school year in 25-26, it'll be on August 14th.
All right, thank you. Final comments, if any, from the board? Not. Hearing none, I will close this meeting out, and we will adjourn 8:06. All right, meeting adjourned.